Hello everybody, JenniferMaker here. It's a beautiful day to create paper lanterns. These layered nature paper lanterns are the perfect way to light up a cold winter night. And I'll show you how easy these come together with just some cardstock, vellum, some tape, and a light. I'll even show you how to customize your own lantern with a special quote. So have a seat here at my craft table and we'll get started. It gets dark so early this time of the year, doesn't it? So I love to fill my home with beautiful lights to make the evenings a little more merry and bright and cozy, right? Light really makes a difference against the dark. So we did some cylinder lanterns this summer that everyone loved. So I think it's time for some winter versions, don't you? We designed these nature-inspired paper lanterns to be fun and easy, but make a beautiful rustic statement. I'll show you how to make the fox lantern and later how to customize your own lantern using text and a special kind of typeface that can be cut out of paper. You can use my quote or one of your own. Now for each lantern, you'll need 3 sheets of 65-pound 12 by 12 inch cardstock to make the beautiful layers. I really recommend 65-pound cardstock over heavier weight cardstock because it will do a better job of letting in the light through the layers. The lanterns are beautiful in all white, as you've seen that I've done here, but I'll use colored cardstock during this tutorial to make the assembly easier for you to follow. Now to diffuse the light and produce a soft glow, we used 2 sheets of 12 by 12 inch vellum. If you don't have vellum, you can use something else that will diffuse light, such as butcher paper, but vellum I think really looks the best. But feel free to experiment with other translucent materials, of course. Now you can use my PDF files to cut these designs by hand, but I think these are much easier to make with a cutting machine. I'll use the Cricut Maker 3 cutting machine today, but you can also use an original Cricut Maker, any Cricut Explorer series machine, the Cricut Venture, or any cutting machine that uses SVGs or DXFs and can also fit the material. Now the joys are a bit too small for the lanterns as designed, but it is possible to resize these to fit 8.5 by 11 inch paper, as we've done here, if you want to try it on the Joy Extra. Along with your cutting machine, you'll also need a standard tools like a green standard grip machine mat, brayer, spatula, weeding tool, and a scraper. And to light up the paper lanterns, I use these puck lights. These are battery-operated, remote-controlled LED lights. They're called puck lights, but sometimes also called spotlights. In fact, I use these lights to create the perfect cylindrical shape of the lantern, as you'll see in this video. And I'll show you how to make a 1 light lantern with my fox design and a 2 light lantern with the customized bear design. You can use 1 light for a softer glow or 2 lights for a brighter shine. Now it is possible to use another LED light, such as an LED tea light or LED fairy lights, and that's what you'd want to do if you chose to resize this lantern to fit letter size paper. Here is the layered paper lantern made from letter size 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock and lit up with fairy lights. In this one, we also use copy paper rather than vellum, which still does a great job of diffusing the light. And beyond that, you'll also want a fine point permanent marker and some 1/4 inch double-sided tape like this one called score tape that I found on Amazon. Now I've got a full list of supplies and tools, plus links to where to find everything in my materials list. It's over on my blog post at JenniferMaker.com/573. You'll also need the design, of course, which is totally free. I love to share. So let me show you where to find it and then we'll get started. Step 1, get my free paper lantern designs. First, download my designs at JenniferMaker.com/573. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the Library. Search the page for design number 573 and click the link to download the designs. If you're not sure how to download, please visit JenniferMaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip my files. There are 3 designs in the folder. a bear with an area to add your own text, as well as a majestic deer and a cunning fox. You can use my PDF files in the folder to cut these designs by hand, but I'll use a Cricut Maker 3 cutting machine to cut my pieces in this video. You can also use an original Cricut Maker, any Cricut Explorer series machine, the Cricut Venture, or another machine that fits 12 by 12 inch material and uses SVG or DXF cut files. Step 2. Prepare your design. Let's start by making the fox paper lantern design. In Cricut Design Space on a blank canvas, click Upload and then Upload Image. Click Browse and find the Fox Lantern SVG file. Click Upload and then select the new design under Recent Uploads and click Add to Canvas. With the design selected, click the Ungroup icon over on the right. The layers are colored so Cricut cuts them in the right order, but your lantern will light up best with white materials. The top 3 are meant to be cut using 65-pound cardstock. The green mountain layer and the blue back layer can be cut from vellum or another translucent material like that. The layers are ready to cut, so with the correct machine selected, click Make. On the Prepare screen, you should have 5 mats. We're using 12 by 12 inch cardstock and vellum, so make sure your mats are set to that. Then select the first mat and click Continue. Set the cardstock mats to the Cardstock for Intricate Cut setting with default pressure. On the green and blue mats, select the vellum setting with default pressure. Place your first cardstock face up on a green standard grip machine mat, then use a brayer to make sure it's fully and evenly adhered. With your fine point blade clean and in the clamp, load the mat into your Cricut and press the flashing button to begin cutting. When it's finished cutting, unload the mat, flip the mat over onto your work surface, and roll the mat back to release the cardstock. This prevents ripping and tearing and curling. You may want to use a spatula to carefully remove any intricate parts, and a weeding tool to pop out any stubborn pieces. Use your scraper tool to remove the cardstock bits left behind on your mat between cuts. And if you have any trouble with your cuts, check out my helpful tips at JenniferMaker.com/cleanercuts. Here are my cut pieces for the fox lantern. Step 3. Assemble your paper lantern. First, make sure your puck light works. You don't want to put that in and then turn out later that it's not working. Now use a permanent marker to draw a vertical line in one of the creases in the light's top half. This will help us line up our layers in a consistent spot. Now apply a piece of 1/4 inch double-sided tape around the top half of the puck light. Then remove the backing. Now it's important to only tape the top half so you can screw off the bottom when the batteries need replacing. Now find your bottom layer of vellum and lay it down so the corners with the rectangular cutouts are on the right side. Run a piece of double-sided tape along the left side and then remove the backer. Line up the bottom rectangle cutout with the line on the puck light, attaching the tape to it. Make sure the light points in too. Slowly wrap the vellum around the light, keeping the edges flush so the lantern sits correctly. With the top and bottom edges flush, gently press down on the tape to attach the vellum's ends. Lay the tube on its side and use a spatula to gently press the taped areas. Lay the rest of the layers so the rectangle cutout corners are on the right. Now add tape along the right, left, and bottom edges of each layer. Leave the backing on for now. Try to get as close to the edges as possible. Find the second layer of vellum with the mountains and remove the tape backing from all edges. Line up the new layer's rectangle cutout with the one on the tube, then press down on the tape along the length to adhere it over the original seam. With the top and bottom aligned, gently wrap the second vellum layer around the light, pressing down to adhere the tape as you go. Press the tape seam to finish attaching the vellum. Now find your third layer with a cardstock mountain. Here I'll demonstrate with colored cardstock so they're easier to see on your screen. Remove the tape backing and align the registration cutout. Attach the cardstock to the tube the same way as the last. The cardstock will be a little harder to curve into a shape than the vellum. Just go slow, molding it and attaching the tape as you go. Press firmly onto the seam to secure the layer to the tube. Attach the other 2 cardstock layers the same way, and your lantern is finished. This is what the actual version with white cardstock and vellum looks like. Now you can operate the light with a remote. To replace the batteries, insert your fingertips into the divots in the light's bottom and twist open. Project number 2, customize the bare paper lantern. Step 1, get the design. Follow the same steps to get the design for this project from earlier in this video. This time, we'll use the bare lantern design. Step number 2, prepare your design. Now, let's make the lantern with a quote using a special kind of typeface. First, add the bare SVG to your canvas in Cricut Design Space, then click Ungroup. Click the text icon, then type or paste in your words. Make the text smaller so it's easier to work with. Click Alignment and change it to Align Right. Now back under Alignment again, be sure to check Wrap On for easy resizing. Now we need a typeface that will remain intact after cutting. So select the text, click Font at the top of your screen, and then choose Stencil under the options. Click the filters and check the box for free. I'll select Signa Stencil, which is free at the time I'm making this video. Now click and drag the text box corner to adjust the size and layout. The edges should fit in the hill area under the bear, filling the space between his nose and back leg. Delete extra spaces from the line's ends to make the layout flow. Now keep the text's bottom edge at least 1/2 inch from the registration cutout's top. The solid area is where we'll tape to the light. The text should be roughly the width of the bear, so that's about 2 3/4 inch to 3 inches. Now hold the Shift key on your keyboard and select the text and the top dark orange layer in the Layers panel, and then click Attach. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right, and then click Make. Use the same steps as before to prepare and cut your cardstock and vellum pieces. I will use all white this time. Step 3, assemble your bare paper lantern with 2 lights. Let's try 2 puck lights for a brighter, more even glow. To do this, draw a vertical line in a crease in the top half of each puck light to help with consistent placement. Apply 1/4 inch double-sided tape around the top half of both lights, removing the backing as you go. Just the top half so you can screw off the bottom to replace batteries. Lay the bottom vellum piece so the corners with the rectangular cutouts are on the right side. Run a piece of double-sided tape along the left-hand side and then peel off the backing. Line up the vellum's bottom rectangle cutout with a line on one of the puck lights. Make sure the light points inside the lantern. Grab the other puck light and align the marker line with the registration cutout on the vellum's other end. Again, make sure the light points into the paper. Press to stick the vellum to the light. The vellum and light's edges need to remain flush, so gently roll the lights to attach the vellum around them. Alternate sides to attach them little by little, evenly adhering the tape and forming a tube with the lights on each end. Keep the vellum taut as you roll. Gently press down on the tape to attach the vellum's ends. Lay out the layers so the rectangle cutout corners are on the right. Add tape along the right, left, and bottom edges of each. Leave the backing on. Now lay the tube on its side with the edge that's more flush on the right to be the lantern's bottom. Find the vellum with mountains and remove the tape backing. Line up the rectangle cutouts and then press the tape along the original seam. With the tape and bottom aligned, gently wrap the second vellum layer around the tube, pressing the tape into both pucks as you go. When you get to the end, gently press down on the tape seam to finish attaching the layer. Now add the third layer, the cardstock layer, with the mountain design cut out the same way. The cardstock is a little harder to curve than the vellum, so slowly mold it around the tube as you attach the tape. Press firmly onto the seam to secure it, and continue adding the rest of your layers. And you're finished. Use the remotes to operate the lights and enjoy your gorgeous lantern. Step 4, show it off. Here's what my finished paper lanterns look like with the lights on. They're so quick and easy to make. You can display multiple light-up luminaries around your home to bring some light to the dark winter evenings. Aren't these lanterns just so beautiful and so easy to make too? My favorite projects are ones like this. Just a few materials, the usual tools, and a super gorgeous end result. And I just love how you can customize the bear design with your own special quote too. Now, remember, there's one more design in the collection for you. The deer lantern uses the same steps as the others, and there are some reference photos in the tutorial on my blog post at JenniferMaker.com/573. And if you want an even easier lantern, the cylinder lanterns from this summer need only one sheet of cardstock. Get the details on how to make those over at JenniferMaker.com/91. Now, if you have any questions about using your Cricut machine, working with cardstock or vellum, or anything else Cricut or craft related that you think I could help you with, please let me know. You can leave your question below this video or ask over in our Cricut Crafters group at JenniferMaker.com/CricutCrafters. And share your photos too. We all love to see them. And that's it for today. Until tomorrow, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.